Hello again, everyone. All right, this video is going to show you how to publish to the web. Um, Publishing to the web is quite simple. It's much more simpler than publishing to the Google Play Store, and it's definitely easier than publishing to the App Store. It's also something we basically already did in the 8th video. I showed you how to set up your Firebase account and how to set up hosting in your Firebase account. So basically, you're just going to do the exact same thing. But before I show you that, I want to remind you of GitHub Desktop. I talked about GitHub Desktop in the 3rd video when I talked about version control, and I haven't really talked about it since then, and I probably should have been at least mentioning it occasionally. As you're working on your app, maybe at the end of every day, you should be opening GitHub Desktop, which you've already set up to monitor it monitors your local project as well as the repository version of your project, which is located on the cloud. And you should be on a daily basis, or whenever you make big changes, or really any changes, um, you should be committing those changes to the repository so that the repository has the most up-to-date version of your app. And 2 videos from now, I'm going to show you how to take that repository and copy it to a Mac computer. You'll need a Mac computer in order to convert your app to code that can be published on the App Store. So I'm just gonna, you can see I've actually already committed things. But I'm just, for the sake of example, just gonna make some meaningless changes here. Let's just add some stuff here, and these don't actually change the app in any way whatsoever. So I'm just gonna show you what happens when you make changes. All right, when you make changes to your local project, GitHub Desktop will immediately notice those changes. And what you're going to do is every time, at the end of every day, or every time you make a big change, you're going to title that change. Now, I often don't know what to title things because I often make a whole lot of changes and I can't summarize them. So sometimes I'll just write update here, or updates. For this one, I'll call it meaningless changes, and I'll commit it, and then I will push to origin. And basically, that just sent those changes that I made to my repository. Okay, so back to publishing to the web. It's just a few steps. You're going to need to run Ionic build one more time. That's going to compile or convert all of your code into this build directory. Every time you make changes to your app and you want to publish those changes to the web, you need to run Ionic build. Okay, once you've run Ionic build, then you're just going to type in Firebase deploy, which again, I've already shown you how to do. If anything's not working, you should go back and watch the 8th video. All right, once you've done Firebase deploy, you can go to your Firebase website. You can go to the hosting section of the Firebase website, and you can see that Firebase gives you URLs that are like pre-made URLs. So if you click on one of those, this is your app. This is your web app right now. Now, like, let's say you didn't, obviously, if you were making something that you wanted to put out there for public to use, you wouldn't want to use this ugly URL. You'd probably want to register your own URL. And to do that, you're going to follow this. Wherever you register your URL, you might have to read some of their instructions about what you need to do. But Firebase does make it pretty easy to connect your custom URL to this place where your app is now being hosted. So that's it. In the next video, I'll show you how to publish to the Google Play Store.